Hello, friends. Happy Friday. It is so wonderful to be here with you. And if you're joining us live, welcome to the show. Today, I got to just do a quick plug. Today is my longtime business partner, Brandon's birthday. So happy birthday, Brandon. If you're watching, if you know Brandon, definitely um, let him know happy birthday as well. Welcome to the show. We are here on In the Loop, and I am Winnie's son, longtime financial pro, CNBC council member, Forbes contributor, and host of Level Up. But I know you really are excited because Greg is back. And so let's go ahead and welcome Greg. Greg, how are you?
I am doing good. It's good to be here, Winnie, always with you. And of course, everybody who's joining in. If this is your first time watching, I'm Greg Nibbler, longtime tech reporter, and I've also covered a lot of other things too. I'm also a news reporter and host for KPTV here in Portland, Oregon, and I cover a lot of technology though. So really getting back to the tech side of things, I've got some stuff today to talk about. Actually, something that you and I have talked quite a bit about before, Winnie, that I'm going to be bringing up here. And then also some other kind of updates to some things, some questions. But since this is interactive, you can drop in your comments, your questions, everything as we go through the show, because we're here with you. We're live streaming on a whole bunch of different platforms. So you can feel free to join in the conversation for that. And yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what people think of some of the stuff that we're going to talk about today. But always, though, I look forward to hearing what Winnie has to say, because you keep us up to date about the actual important things that are going on.
Seeing
The
what
real
we're
things
gonna
in the world.
say. Okay, I'm really excited, Greg, about seeing what we're saying. I feel like that's like a clue right there.
Yeah.
So we're gonna definitely tune in. Okay, I'm gonna share with you some of what I've got to keep you really money smart, right? And then we're gonna jump to Greg. Let's talk about how the market's doing. Let's just say like October, Halloween, all things spooky. Yeah. So the Dow is currently down 103 points. Eek. Nasdaq down 91 points as well. S&P 500 is also down 23. Let's hope that it comes back before the market closes later today. But so far, not so great. And let me tell you why. Well, first off, you've heard us talk about the really icky I word, which is inflation. That continues to be an issue. Investors are quite concerned about this. In fact, Federal Reserve Chairman has been very clear that the central bank is committed to getting us to that 2% inflation mandate, which we are nowhere close to 2%, right? So we, even after what, 11 different interest rate hikes since March of 2022, the benchmark rate is still at its highest level in 22 years. Now, Fed Chairman Jerome Powell has said that yes, the economy is has strength, and some of these rates have had some impact, but nowhere to the levels that it needs to be. So, what does that mean? That means that there needs to be some big shock and something really happened with the economy for that level to come back down. And in fact, mortgage rates just reached a whopping 8% this week on the 30-year fix, which is not good news if you are currently in the market to look to purchase a new home, to refinance, all that stuff. I mean, at this point, you're probably not going to refinance because the rates just going to keep on going higher until it goes down. But yeah, that's where we are in the market. But don't worry, I want to segue over to my next story. And this is something that I think Greg is going to chime in on, which I'm excited to hear Greg's like view on this. But Amazon has some good news, right? It can't all be bad news. Amazon has good news, and this is especially the case for those of you who are looking into the fall. Maybe it's cold season and all that good stuff. Amazon is introducing a new drone delivery service for prescription medications. This is going to be called Amazon Pharmacy. Now, introducing this new cool drone delivery for your prescription. This is already available in College Station, Texas. Now, I'm not quite sure why it's being introduced in College Station, Texas, but hey, that's awesome. Hopefully, it'll come to all of us, including Greg in Oregon and myself here in California. Now, eligible customers are going to be able to access over 500 different types of medications. This includes treatments for common conditions. So, this will enable your prescriptions to be delivered to your doorstep in less than 60 minutes at no additional cost. So this is going to be a full service online pharmacy. This launched, believe it or not, by Amazon in 2020. So they're going to have cameras on these, identify objects, some obstacles during the delivery. But what I love about this is I know that this is going to help a lot of people, especially when you're sick and maybe you just need, cough medicine or your antibiotics. You don't feel like getting in the car. You might not even have the energy to go and, get it from the pharmacy. And let's be honest, we don't want to expose other people to your germs either. So, I mean, this is pretty cool, Greg. I thought this was sort of right in line with you.
Yes, this is cool. A drone delivery is something that I am excited for a number of reasons. You've seen different ones being tested out in other places too. I know in North Carolina and I think Virginia, there's some kinds of drone delivery that you can get. Walmart's had one that's been going on. Google was working on one too. But this is bringing something, directly to consumers. And it's something that's actually important. Like you mentioned, I mean, your medications, that's a pretty important thing, especially for people who may be really sick or maybe they're, have mobility issues, to be able to get that delivered directly to them and not even have to worry about like a third party going through it. That's pretty cool. I'm all for this. I will be interested to see how they really secure this. I mean, I know they have all the cameras and they have all the other things to technically make that secure, but you're also flying around with medications. So that could get a little dicey depending on what's being delivered there. So I'll be interested to see how that plays out. But the tech behind it, it's great. I think it's awesome.
Great. And I love that you mentioned the mobility issue because I think that's really key. There's a lot of Americans that, getting their medication is a pain. Like I know I'm talking to my mom all the time and she's like, oh, I have to go to a pharmacy. And it's like a regular thing that for some people just is very, very challenging. So having it come, but you're right about the security feature. I mean, what if like, depending on what's being delivered and someone tries to steal the medication, right? That's not a good thing, but it's kind of exciting because, if they can deliver medication, I'm sure the weight has something to do with it because it's pretty light, but you can see how this can be more things. And you can see how a lot of pharmacies, like, that have been in the news lately have been struggling financially. You can see how this is another area where Amazon is eating your lunch.
Yeah. I mean, it's Amazon. They're going to take over everything. There's that side of it too. But I mean, there are other companies that are working on drone deliveries. But when you have the size of a company like Amazon, they can put all the money into it. I think regulation wise too, it's going to be a while before it does go everywhere, because a lot of this is they're finding these places. I don't know specifically why they're doing College Station, Texas, but I'm going to guess because the weather is probably pretty dry most of the time. It's probably the terrain's not too crazy and it's much easier to control some of the issues that could arise versus putting it in a place like that's why the Northwest is probably going to be one of the last places to get it, just because of the weather and the rain and how that could affect, navigation and all of that stuff. But, these are, I think eventually we're all going to get this. You're going to get it before I do. You'll get it down there.
Okay, and I'll let you know how it is. But I mean, I love this concept too. It's exciting to see because you can see that in the future, a lot of things that we had to do or had to make effort and put into our schedule, technology is going to kind of streamline a lot of this. Will hopefully make our lives a little bit easier. Hopefully it'll also be safer. We'll see. But yeah, let me jump to my next story though, because another one I love to get your take on, and this is going to be for many of you who are excited about this spooky month that we have, the month of Halloween, which is October, and believe it or not, it's just right around the corner. Now, for those of you who have kids like I do, this is a big deal. It's like what costume will you wear? How you're going to decorate the house? What kind of treats are you going to be giving out for those trick-or-treaters? We're talking Halloween. I know for many of you, Halloween is one of your favorite holidays. But did you know that Halloween spending is expected to reach a record high in 2023. In fact, the National Retail Federation's annual survey indicates that Halloween participation is set to break like crazy records. In fact, we're talking $1 billion record. Now, Last year, the spending on Halloween was estimated to be about $10.6 billion. This year, it's expected to leap to $12.2 billion. Now, of course, you could say, well, maybe that's Halloween inflation or just things cost more. People are just spending more because they're feeling like they want to get into the holiday spirit. But we do know that a record 73% of people surveyed said they're going to participate in some sort of Halloween related activity this year. That's huge. In fact, the largest increase in Halloween spending is on costumes, which is expected to reach over $4 billion just in costumes alone. Candy is expected to reach over $3 billion as well. And decorations are expected to reach close to the costume price of $3.9 billion. So I wanted to bring you some advice, some tips on how you could stretch your Halloween spending this year, and that way, you still have money to show for it. Because as we know, it's like just one day or a couple days out of the year, depending on how long you celebrate. So here's what I wanted to share with you. And Greg, I'd love to get your take on this too and see what you're doing because I know your Halloween game is like no joke. I know you're like, when it comes to Halloween. Well, let me start with this. Do you know what you're gonna be this year, Greg?
I have an idea. I'm a little bit late to the game on what I'm going to do, but I have an idea of what I'm going to do, and I know how I'm going to do it, but I'm not going to spoil it. I'm not going to say.
Well, I know you've been incredibly busy with work, so I'm excited to see because I know. Let me just say, for those of you who've been following the show, Greg's costume is usually like
I
amazing. All
usually
right,
go all out.
he
Yeah.
does. He does. I am not so much, but like but I got 3 kids. So let me just tell you. So, those of you who are also parents out there like me, you think costumes and it's fun, but you all know it's a lot of work. And not only that, a lot of times you get so busy, you end up doing that last minute costume purchase. Maybe you jump on Amazon, maybe you go to your local store and you just get what you can get, right? And especially if you have kids like my kids, everyone's a different age, they have different interests, they have different hobbies. It gets pricey. So, last minute costume purchases is no fun and definitely not good for your wallet. So, here are some tips of how you can spend your costume. You might want to do is challenge your children. This is actually a good exercise. You might want to give them maybe $5 or $7 and just like figure out a costume for yourself and what you would spend. Or maybe you give them $20 and you walk through it and you go through the house and figure out how much this would cost and make it sort of a budgeting financial exercise. The other thing you can do is obviously borrow costumes from friends or neighbors because oftentimes you can just swap and all of a sudden it's a new costume. But this is something that we're going to do at my house. See, my kids are really into their sports, right? And I always think, well, they got all these like cool uniforms and things, and like, why don't you create a variation? It's of something they enjoy, which is your sport, and make a zombie version of it. So let's say your kid's into soccer, it could be a zombie soccer player. I mean, why not? The other thing is, my little one is really into Minecraft. And with all those delivery boxes that we have around the house, well, you can make your own Minecraft costume or robot costume. You can really get creative that way. Now, segue over to number 2, which is decorations, dollar store decorations, things like that. Cotton balls make great spider webs. And then, of course, there's a lot of free events that you can go to around your neighborhood. Candy alternatives, I'm going to jump on that really quick, is basically, obviously, I'm a big believer in quality over quantity. So I'd rather buy like one good treat, or it could be a healthier treat, it could be a toy, and then something that lasts that might be good. But the next one I have is, of course, your pumpkin. Your pumpkin, I know a lot of people like to go to pumpkin patches. We love to do that as well. Sometimes we like to go there and take some pictures, but I always get my pumpkin at either a warehouse store or a big box store or the grocery store. And especially when there's discounts and coupons, sometimes you can even give them for free. And then what to do with your pumpkin after, I have a Modern Mom article on that topic. So definitely check that out. And I'll tell you how you can make the most of your pumpkin. So with that, I have other tips, but I'm not going to jump them all today because I want to make sure we save enough time for Greg. But go ahead and in comments tell me what you're going to do in terms of stretching your Halloween budget. I'd love to hear from you, and if I get some good tips, I might even add that into some of the content that I'm working on for this month. All right, Greg, I gotta save time and swing it right back to you because I know you've got something fun for us to see.
I've got a couple of things. I did want to comment on your Halloween thing really quick because Halloween candy is so expensive. Like I don't buy candy normally, but I do, around Halloween just for trick-or-treaters. And just looking at the prices, oh my gosh. Like when did it get so expensive?
It got so expensive, and it's crazy, right?
It's
Right? I mean,
ridiculous.
it's called candy. Well, Halloween inflation is what I call it, Halloween inflation. But it's so crazy, and the thing is, like, I feel like just less is more this day and age. To be honest, like I think if you were to give out quarters at your front door, like the kids would be just as excited, like, and it would be something that they could use, instead of candy.
Probably even
And
cheaper too.
yeah, it could be cheaper. And I honestly, I think the kids would get kicked. Because as I remember when I was a student at UCLA, there was this one house that gave out dollar bills, and all the students, like everybody, would want to go to that house. So for this year, instead of stressing about it, because we've got a million things and contributing to more waste and sugar and everything else, I mean, they're going to get a lot of candy anyway. Like, think of something unique. That's what I'm thinking. I'm going to challenge my kids to do this year.
Yeah, that's good. Well, I'll have to think about that. I'll think of something I can give out that's unique. So, going over to what I was going to talk about here for the first one, the reason I said at the beginning is that I know that it's something that you and I have both talked about this quite a bit on the show, and it has to do with the Cybertruck. We were just talking, I think it was last week or the week before, about when is the Cybertruck ever going to come out, and is it ever going to come out? Well, there was an announcement from Elon, and again, you got to take this with a grain of salt because we've been hearing this year after year after year. Oh, it's going to be coming out. But he does say that the first shipments are supposed to be going out to customers towards the end of November. And as we can see right there, this is him saying that, again, grain of salt until we actually see this actually come out. But that's the proclamation that he made. He talked about the construction of them and just how, or the manufacturing of them and how difficult it is, and that it's way more difficult than what they ever intended or planned on. And he's saying that that's why it's been taking so long. And he said it's going to be slow for the next probably 3 years or 2 to 3 years. Yeah, it's going to be slow. But some of them are going to be out. Yeah, he said that making the truck is hard. Well, no kidding. The way that you've done it, some of the reports that you've seen about it too, where he's micromanaging just tiny little things. It's very difficult to do, or impossible to do some of the things that he wanted. But there we go. It might be coming out. And this was the truck too that was originally going to be $40,000. I don't even know what it's up to now. Like 80, I think. I mean,
80?
it's a lot more.
Oh my goodness. Okay, great. So I think we can all agree that this needs to be renamed. No longer the Cybertruck. What's another word for really slow? Really slow. And then, I mean, it was supposed to be around like 30, 40,000. What's it going to be
Yep.
like? Double the price?
Yeah, it's I'm trying to see if they even have it on the site of what the actual price is. They don't. All they have is put down your $100 deposit. Yeah, they don't even have exactly what the price is on there. So I could look it up and see what they say it is, but I imagine it's going to be a little bit different, once you actually order it. But regardless, it's just, when are you ever going to get one? They say November. I think if they send out even 5 of them in November, that will be a huge, huge deal. Because they didn't say how many it's going to be. They just said, yeah, we'll start delivering the first batch of the massive pickup trucks to customers on November 30th.
Okay, so so I think we can agree they're probably gonna send one to New York. They're gonna send one in California. Now where like a lot of people will see that there's actually a car out there, because we have traffic there. And then Joshua, Cross-X Fighter is right. I mean, what's a Cybertruck? Like should be a slow truck.
I mean, in theory, all the stuff, still looks cool. Like that looks really cool. Got a little camping setup, for your Cybertruck. But that it also means that since nobody's really had these out other than just him driving it around or specific people, for showing it off, we don't actually know how well these things function. because I haven't really seen many reviews of people actually driving them, actual, auto reviewers. So who knows what kind of issues could arise from these things too.
And there are issues. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm a Tesla driver, and like, yes, do I love the car? Absolutely. But oh my goodness, Greg, some of the issues, like, they're just like they come out of nowhere. And by the way, these issues are not inexpensive too. So it's like you're talking about a brand new vehicle. And I think there's one of the financial tips that I've read before that typically they recommend you don't buy the first year of a new model. Um,
Yeah.
so I don't know. That's more of a question. Like, is it so similar to the Y or something else that like you can feel comfortable picking up? But the fact that it took them this long to even release this vehicle, and then it's going to take 3 years to produce these vehicles, makes me wonder. Like, if you have an issue, how long is it going to be to get a
Yeah.
replacement part for this car?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, yeah, that's a really good point. Like something goes wrong, something's off, because you can't really, it doesn't seem like much of that is going to be necessarily interchangeable with another vehicle because it's all just this Cybertruck.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, even just replacing those specific kind of windows that it has. I mean,
What if you get a ding, like, right?
I know
Or
he did try to, I know he did try to show that it's bulletproof or whatever. I don't know if you remember that when they had the Cybertruck
right.
unveiling and he threw something
Oh,
at it and they
really?
cracked the windshield.
I hope so, but what if like it's a fender bender, or like what if you need a new
Yeah.
bumper? Like, how long is it going to take to get one of those things?
Yeah.
I mean, we're
All
in
good
California.
questions.
These things happen a lot.
Yeah. It's
And where you are, what if, like, I don't know. I'm asking questions. I don't know that much about cars, but to me, it just feels like I would feel more comfortable if there was more volume and it was like,
yep. This is gonna be just those early adopters who, they're doing it just to like drive around and show it off, not to probably
keep it in the
really
garage.
use it.
Hmm.
And I'm sure they're selecting who is getting these first. I doubt it's just like a random drawing. I'm sure it's like you mentioned, somebody in New York's going to have one. Somebody in LA is going to have one. San
And
Francisco.
quite a few
maybe.
people in LA will get them, I think.
Yeah.
They're going to give them to the celebrities first, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And they're going to make sure that they're probably required to drive down, certain streets at certain times to show
Hollywood
it off.
Boulevard, Sunset Boulevard.
Yep,
Yeah,
exactly. Yep. Oh, there's a movie premiere. Oh, you got to drive your Cybertruck down there.
Yeah, it's got to go down the 10 and the 405 freeway every day.
Yep. So that's where they'll be. But I don't know. We'll see. But it is, and again, got to take it with a. So I would also put I would say this is like a 50-50 if anything does go out by November 30th, if it actually happens. Because I'm gonna guess it might not even.
I don't know, Greg. I feel like we're not gonna get them because.
Oh, we're not. No. Nope. But well, I mean, maybe by 2025 or 2026.
I don't know. I don't know if I want to spend $80,000. Like when it was said to be around 30 to 40,000.
That's like okay. That's a reasonable, for a good vehicle. No. So anyway, I want to get that out there for everybody. So if you were waiting for your Cybertruck, maybe you'll be getting yours. Probably not. Going on though to something else. It's kind of some random tech news. So this is something that people have been working on for a long time, and there are different variations that are out there. But this is one that's just coming out right now. Actually, it was announced about a month ago, and it's supposed to be hitting store shelves or where people can actually get it here this week. And it is the AR sunglasses from Meta, so Facebook, with teaming up with Ray-Ban. And these are glasses that have the cameras in them. It's got you can play music in them. It's got speakers that are designed to aim just to you, so only you can hear them. You can live stream with it. You can read or get your Facebook comments on there. It's designed to work with Facebook and Instagram, of course. And yeah, they think everybody keeps trying this, and they keep working on this. Snap has some AR sunglasses. Google had them way back in the day, Google Glasses, and there was a nickname for people who wore the Google Glasses back in the day that I won't use on here, but that was a big thing in the tech world, everybody making fun of them. They were just a little bit ahead of their time on those. This though, I still don't I mean, it's much more stylish with the Ray-Ban side of things. So they've got that going. But I don't really know personally many people that would really use these. And that's why I wanted to bring it up to people who are watching. And maybe you've got some really good use cases for this. I mean, I guess if you're wanting to capture a lot of things and you want that first person view, and maybe this is something that you would utilize. But do you want glasses with cameras in them? And I'm just asking if that's what people want. I think if there were more AR functionality as far as overlaying things, directions and different things that could be on the screen, where the screens were actually being utilized a little bit more, and maybe that's something that will come up, then it would help out. But if it's just to live stream and take pictures, it kind of seems a little creepy.
That does seem creepy. Like you wouldn't want to sit next to somebody who had these
Yeah.
glasses on. And I'm guessing that there would be a light that would come on to show people that you were filming, right? Or
I
no?
don't know if there is. I don't know
Oh,
if there is. It doesn't seem to be that there's a light. I think you
okay,
can
that's
just,
really creepy then. Like you
yeah,
don't
it
even
is
know
kind
if
of, right?
someone's filming you. So
Yeah,
I
you're
can see a
sitting
lot
next
of
to
people
someone.
using this on a date.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. I don't like the idea. Even though, I mean, we're being filmed all the time, everywhere, always pretty much, because there's always, it seems like there's always probably somebody with a camera on us, whether that's a city camera or, a security camera or somebody actually using their phone. So, but there's something different, I feel like, about that. I don't know. Just to me personally. And again, I could be wrong. Maybe there's a lot of people who are really going to be into these. And dancing like that woman down the street. But she's really into those glasses. But I do like some of the functionalities of these, because I've tried different AR glasses before, or at least glasses with like speakers incorporated in. It does, the sound's all right. You do still get to hear the outside world, so it's a little bit safer. The music's only targeted just to you. So even if you're standing next to somebody, you wouldn't hear their music. Only they will.
Mhm.
And that kind of stuff is good. But I just don't know about some of this. Yeah, Cross-X Fighter, that's kind of creepy. Yeah, it kind of is to me. It kind of is.
Yeah, I think that's what I do worry about this sort of technology where you don't know, right? And
Yeah.
like you have your glasses on and yeah,
Yeah.
like
Yeah. There's just
and
kind
then
of
you're recording
a
people
factor
and they
to it.
don't know that you're recording people. So now everybody that you see like Ray-Ban glasses or sunglasses on, you're like, oh,
Right. Right.
stay away.
Yeah. I mean, and maybe there'll be some cool content that comes out for, that they showed the musician there. Sure, if that's being used in that kind of setting, you're filming a concert and you get to go to the drummer's glasses cam or something. All right. There's some use cases for it, but yeah, I don't know. I just don't see. Oh yeah, they do have AI incorporated in, so they have their own AI. So instead of, I wouldn't say the words that set them off. Instead of Amazon's or Apple's, you say, "Hey Meta," and then so they've got the AI there that you can do some queries with, and it'll read your comments to you. But yeah, I'll be interested to see. And it's, I believe, $300 for these glasses. So
Hmm.
yeah, I'll if anybody is really into these, please tell me, let me know. And if you're trying them out, let me know what you're excited about with them. But just for me, it's not there yet. I do, like I said, though, I do
Distracting
like the idea
too.
of glasses if you had stuff overlaid as far as actual augmented reality, giving you directions or giving you information. I could get into that, just not necessarily filming them.
And it's really not that hard to look down at your phone. I think you really want to see your Instagram and your Meta page. I mean, you could just look down on your phone because it hasn't
Who has
replaced that
time
yet.
for that one?
Yeah, I'm oh, yeah, that's true. But, like, I mean, I was thinking, like, my kids are into sports, so they could wear sunglasses and listen to music. I could see that, but that again,
Yeah,
it's very limited use, and I can see some people would use this to listen to music at the gym. But again, you have other things that can do this without
right.
having your posts. I just feel like if you have any decent community or following, it would be such a distraction. Imagine, Greg, every LinkedIn message you got. Oh, it would drive me
Yeah.
nuts. I would like crush them.
Yeah, yeah. I would throw those off immediately. So yeah, we'll see where this goes. But That's the one that's out. So that's if you want those, $300, and you can. It still says pre-order, but they're supposed to be out here any day now. So you could get your hands on some Meta Ray-Ban AR glasses. The last thing that I have here is going back to Amazon. We're talking about the Amazon drone deliveries. That is not the only tech that Amazon is talking about right now. This has been discussed, and they do use robotics in their warehouses already, but now they're going to be incorporating in even more with the from Agility Robotics, the Digit robot. And the Digit robot is much more humanoid-like. And the idea is that it's going to be, as you can see right here, they're showcasing some of the different ways that it can fall down, get itself back up. I mean, these robots are pretty, from the tech standpoint, they're pretty amazing on what they can do. But the idea is putting them into warehouses and, moving the massive Amazon warehouses and putting them in with humans. So they're emphasizing these are not meant to replace humans, that these are just going to be there to help out and take care of other tasks and maybe heavy tasks. Sorry, that's still kind of funny. Taking care of tasks that humans aren't, may not want to do or maybe more dangerous. However, there are a lot of concerns that Amazon warehouse workers have of that is the future of, is it them getting replaced by robots? And Amazon now just bringing these out slowly into the workforce. Something that I think a lot of other companies are going to be doing too. There is already a fair amount of robotics that are out there, but nothing quite to this level. So this is a pretty big step, I feel like. I feel like this is one of those things where it's just testing out right now in a couple of warehouses. And before you know it, all the warehouses are going to have these. You're going to start seeing thousands of these. And I think we might be approaching like one of those moments. That's a prediction.
I think this is, I hate to say for Amazon employees that are concerned about this, I feel like this is something that it has to happen, right? Because we know that with businesses, they have to run lean. And, when people get hurt at the workplace, it causes a lot of issues for the bottom line. And so robots are able to move and carry, and there's just a lot less liability with this sort of technology. um, and we've seen that AI with, the obviously in entertainment industry with SAG and everywhere else. So
Yeah,
figuring out a way to work with it.
Yep. And that's it's true. I mean, no matter what Amazon says, saying they're not going to be replacing humans, they're going to be replacing humans. I mean, that's like you said, it's going to be happening. How soon that happens, that's a different thing. But the fact that they're putting them out there now and testing them out, I think that's a big step, and they're being very public about it and saying, not to replace humans. But this could be one of those kind of stepping stone moments.
It is, because Amazon already uses robots. They've been using robots for a really long time. In fact, the technology they had acquired, I think it was when they started working with Zappos. They started already moving boxes so that it was more efficient. So instead of like having everything organized in just shoes in one area and like tools in one area, they could put anything anywhere and the robot would just know. So it would save time. So this is sort of just that next chapter. And so I agree with you, Greg. I think the fact that it's public and they're letting you know, like, you can't get mad. We got to do this. Businesses are designed for profitability. And so if they can decrease their costs, and the biggest cost for most businesses is human costs, is labor.
Yeah. So we'll see where it goes, but that is something that's out there. I want to let people know about it, just that Amazon announced that. So the Digit robot from Agility Robotics. Back to just the tech side though, they're pretty cool. They're actually pretty interesting what they're able to do with them. So there's lots of really good videos out there if you want to see more about those. You can check those out from Agility Robotics, and that's who Amazon is getting those from. But yeah, robots out in the workforce. I had to bring some robots in some way.
Very cool. Thank you, Greg. Yeah, that's a great way to end the show. We really appreciate you being here, and thank you so much. We see a lot of comments coming in. Definitely don't be shy. Let us know what you're excited about, and if there's anything else that you're seeing next week. Of course, it's going to be our fun show when we talk about what to stream in November. And of course, it's our Halloween
Oh yeah.
going into Halloween episode, right? So I'm not sure what we're gonna do about that, but it's definitely gonna be one that you want to keep up with. So if you do us a favor, if you love this show, share it on social media, tag at Greg Nibbler, tag at Winnie's Son, so we can properly thank you like we need to. For CrossX Fighter, thank you so much for sharing this show and being such a supporter. We truly appreciate it, and we're just looking forward to seeing you again next week.
Yeah, thanks everybody. It's always so awesome to see you. Like when he said, tag us, send us messages, share the show, and we'll certainly, get back to you too. And appreciate all of you. And have a great weekend. And yeah, talk to you next week.
Bye bye now.
Bye.